Hi there, this is Sally with Three Dimensional Visions. Welcome you to our next episode of Studio Life. Today it's going to be in the Warm Glass Studio, and I'm going to talk about our kiln forming classes and workshops that we're about to start in this September. So hold on, the studio's pretty messy. I'm going to flip it around and show it to you. The best practices are that you should clean your studio up as soon as you finish the project. Well, things have been sort of blowing and going here, and I haven't been doing that. So today, while I take you through this journey on what we're going to do in the kiln forming projects, I might just pick up a few things in the studio. There's one of our pups. So this area is sort of what I call my glass supply corner. You can see that I have big sheets of glass stored in this metal rack. There's some paper for them above. There's some broken pieces in those containers. If I look over to the left and start at the bottom, I have smaller sheets, some frit in those canisters. Then above that, there are smaller jars of frit, and they're sorted by sizes. The frit comes in from a 0 to a 5. Then over to the right, trying to focus sort of on those, are tubes, and they contain stringers and noodles, plain glass and dichroic glass. Then when you go down to the second shelf from the bottom, let's see, those are some kiln balls that I've made, glass balls that I've made from kiln that are parts that we can use in the classes. And then at the very bottom, and I can't seem to be able to get to that, hold on. So in this very bottom shelf, I have pieces of cane cut up and maybe some that's not so cut up that I can use for parts, and another box of stuff, of glass pieces for using. And then I've got this big box. It's called a rack pack. And I'm gonna open it up, and this is the glass I bought for us to be the primary glass we use in the classes and the projects. So it's gonna be like Christmas morning. I've gotta pry that top off, and we're gonna look in and see what's there. So I'm going over to the rack pack, and I'm going to try to start opening it up. And it weighs 145 pounds, so I'm not gonna move it out of the space it's in if I don't have to. So right now I'm just sort of using a putty knife. I used a screwdriver earlier. That didn't seem to help. I really need a crowbar, and I don't think I have one of those in my studio, so I may have to go and get one. But I have lifted it up a little bit here at the edges, so if I can get the back end of this hammer in it. And it doesn't look like I can. Need to get it to lift a little bit more. Well, I'm gonna take a break and go get a crowbar. So I finally got the right tools, the larger crowbar, and so I'm gonna make some headway now on opening our rack pack box. So I'll head over there. Take this big old crowbar, put it in there, and try to pry it up. Doesn't want to come up around that staple very much. Let's see if I can get it in from this side. There she blows. So it's Christmas. I have to be careful because I got nails in this top. Let's see what we have. Woohoo! I'm gonna bring it over there. So this rack pack for some of our classwork is filled, you can see, with all kinds of colors. It's about 80 little 1 square foot sheets of glass. I'm excited to see this. And we have a few others, of course, that are sitting out here. So we're not a supplier of glass. We supply the glass for our projects, but not the, we don't sell glass. That's in the hot shop and the warm glass studio. But we have plenty of glass to do our work. Well, I almost forgot to tell you about the glass in this corner. These sheets that are standing against the wall were bought specifically for a project I'm about to do. The boxes that you see, one on top and the others underneath, are scrap glass. So when I cut up glass and I have remnants, then I stick them in there. Then I've got some longer strips that I've got on the husky drawers. And so this corner, besides being a cutting corner, which I'm going to talk about in a while, is also some glass in it. So what I'm about to talk to you next about is the supplies, like cleaning material and that stuff. That's all kept in here, and I'll put some of that away and talk to you about it. But over there, there's more glass. I forgot about this too. These drawers right here are filled with parts from the hot shop or Marini that I've made here in the warm glass studio. And so it's cane and Marini and from the hot studio, Marini from the cold studio, all sorts of goodies. And then this corner is my repair corner over here. So this little cabinet that I've got here is full of all sorts of goodies. Cutting oil, E6000 glue for bales, glass cleaner, Hextol, and the stuff that goes with that, Clorox wipes, some vinegar and alcohol, paint, furniture polish, boron nitride for release for glass molds. So I store all my stuff like that over here in this little cabinet. So as far as cutting goes, everybody will have a station in the kiln forming classes and project workshops with a nice mat and the tools that you need to cut freehand. So there's glass and grosiers and nippers and a scoring tool. I also have a Morton glass cutting system, and this is pretty cool and works really well. And I loved it until I got my next cutting system. And this guy's just a wonderful little tool, and it's nothing wrong with the Morton. This just cuts a bigger sheet. So I can pull a 24 by 24 sheet of glass in here and cut it into strips and do what I want it. It has a measuring guide, so every strip can be the same thickness if I pay attention. And so I love this tool. I got this from a guy named Bob Patterson. He used to have a studio here in Houston, and he made these and was selling them. He sold the cutting edge and the tool, and then you put them together. There are lots of little tools that you can buy and have, and I don't have mine as organized as I should, but they're all over here, and measuring sticks, cutters, nippers, scissors, things to hold on to, tape, some other things that we've made in the studio, then a pile of other tools that I got from someone else, a bunch of different rulers and brushes. You always need a brush to keep it off your Taurus saw, which I haven't figured out how to work. I inherited that from someone. I always love my Dremels. I have 2 of those in here in the studio so that I can use them along with a student if necessary. This little Olympic kiln is in my warm glass studio. It's the first kiln I purchased. It runs on 110 regular household electric current. It's 14 by 14 on the inside basically, and it has a controller in it, and every time you open it, it's like Christmas morning or Hanukkah morning, whatever your birthday, whatever time. So you see that it has elements on the lid, and then around the sides. This morning it's not a full load, but it's the remains of what I had left on the backsplash that I'm working on. It's going to be plain black squares alternating with a row of dichroic squares. And so I'll add those to the rest of my ones, and I'm finished with all the pieces. This Scott 1414 is the workhorse kiln in my studio now. It's located in our hot shop. Its OD, or outside dimensions, are 44 by 25, and it's a very functional kiln. So this little Scott kiln is the next little kiln we have. It's basically sort of a set point kiln, I would say. You turn it up to the temperature you want, which is basically from low to high, and you can set things in. You see it's not very big, and it needs to be cleaned out, but it's about 6 inches. It doesn't have any elements in the top because it's very small. We have a pyrometer that's on the outside. It's off right now, so it tells you what temperature it is, but you can put things in it. And here's an example of something that's come out. So this piece was pattern bars that I put in there, and then I heated those up to about 1700 degrees and then raked them or combed them with a tool, and then used this spatula that's down here below it to get it out and take it and put it in my other kiln and anneal it. So that's the firebox, the Scott firebox. I just loved combing and raking before I had a glass blowing studio, and thought it was just really cool, and now I can do it in the warm glass studio and in the hot glass studio. So this is our new baby that I've ordered from Denver Glass Machinery. I put in the order about February. It's 72 by 36 by 12. I can do some door size pieces in this, and I'm really excited and waiting to get it, and it's being held up by supply chain issues due to COVID. Hopefully we'll get it in the next couple of months. So I hope you'll come out and join me in one of my classes. The kiln forming classes are going to start the second weekend of the month in September. I have 3 classes. They are sort of meant to be a progressive series. The first is an intro or foundation class. The second one is about creating visual and tactile textures in kiln forming. And the third one is putting it all together and making pieces and being really creative. Let your creativity flow. Besides the weekend classes, we're going to have workshops every week on Thursday nights, where you have about a 2.5-hour project that we can get done. And there'll be a different project every night, and you can see there's a list of what's on there, and I hope you'll join me for those, because it'll be a lot of fun in this little warm glass studio. The attendance is limited to 6 people, and we do an online sign up. So please come join us. This is Sally at 3 Dimensional Visions doing the webcast for Studio Life, and wanting you to have fun and stay safe. Thanks.